right, fantasy creature number 8. We're going to pre-select an area for the eyes, and now we're going to do something with these eyeballs. I'm going to take my zoom tool and zoom up here on the eyes. We need to pre-select the circles. So go ahead and you could use, if you wanted to, you could use your elliptical marquee and try to do that. I'm not very good at drawing those, but that wasn't actually too bad. I've got it on add to selection, so I'll draw around the other one. And we can touch these up later on, so it's okay if they're not perfect. And then what we're going to do is add a color fill layer. Now, do not put it in the me layer. So let's let's close the me layer down and click on it so this will go above it. We don't want it in there because we don't want it to turn green. We want these to be a different color. Okay, so I'm going to come down to do an adjustment layer and do a solid color fill layer. Obviously, that's going to look weird, but we're going to adjust some things in a minute. So choose a color. I'm going to go with some sort of a yellow color because I think that's kind of cool. And hit OK. Then, of course, you're going to mess with your blend mode because we need the black part of the eyeball to come back. And that you may have to paint out if you're like me and you have brown eyes. Because notice, see, I have such dark eyes that it doesn't matter what I do, none of this is going to look that great. I mean, like, that's kind of okay, I guess. The vivid light one works a little bit. But most of these, you can't get the middle part of the eye back in. And please don't do hard mix. That looks awful. So I could do this vivid light one, but the color isn't going to be exactly what I want. I want kind of a yellow. So there we go. I guess that's okay. It's a little crazy. You may need to brush out certain areas. So, you know, black to hide. So I can take and paint on here to get the black out from, or the gold out from outside of the perimeter of the eye. There we go. All right. So that's okay. You could do that. Another thing you could do would be to yeah, I like that. It would be to experiment with some layer styles on this. So we could add layer styles to the color fill, the FX button, or the EFF if you're in Photo P. We could do like an inner shadow a little bit, which would tone those down depending on how big your inner shadow is. Mine went way over there. So you could adjust that. See how that kind of, the inner shadow, I can decide how like crazy this is going to be. So that's an idea. Your inner shadow is a good one. You might do, well, that's really probably the only one. It's the inner shadow. You might can mess with some of these other ones and come up with something, but that shadow is probably going to be the one that's going to work the most for this and be realistic looking. So there we go. There is a color fill layer with a vivid light blend mode and an inner shadow for my eyes. And again, this is not in the me layer. It is above everything.